Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing well whenever you tune in and see this and wherever you are. So this is going to be a general reading for both Virgo and for Libra. So we'll get into the readings in just a little bit. I will be providing timestamps after the live is done for some people who may want just Virgo or just Libra. All right. But yeah, we're going to do a little bit of incense here to clear the energy from the bones and charms from the previous reading. And we're going to do a little sound bell as well before we get started here. And you guys can get a little bit of incense as well. I will take a little bit of that as well, right? So it's all about your intention. You don't have to use smoke to clear things, but I like to do a little bit and then also do the sound bell. So just gonna move that over here, get up out of the way. All right, and before we get started too, I want to check our sound and make sure we're going live on Facebook and all that good stuff. So just bear with me guys for a moment. Okay, so sound is good. And now let's check Facebook. And just make sure. Okay, there we go. So all that looks good. All right. So let's go ahead and do our sound bell here, starting off with Virgo. If you're sensitive to sound, you feel free to turn it down a little bit temporarily. It won't be obviously the whole video, but again, it is a great way to clear energy for me to reconnect with my guides, for you guys to take a couple of deep breaths and just get in touch with yourself and clear the body and all that stuff in the mind if you feel guided. All right, so let's go ahead and do this for Virgo for April. All right. I think that was a good one. Okay. So we're going to just move our crystals out of the way a little bit here that we had on top of the bones and charms. And now we're going to do some shuffling of the bones and charms. So this is something that you'd have to do if you were using tarot cards, right? You'd have to shuffle as well. So it may be a little bit loud temporarily, but it won't be for the whole video. So thank you guys for your patience and understanding and all of those things and your energy and views, everything. All right. So spirits, please guide my hands. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Virgo for their highest good. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirits, guide my hands. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Virgo for April for their highest good. Spirits, guide my hands. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Virgo for their highest good for April. Spirits, please guide my hands. Spirits, please guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Virgo for their highest good for April. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Virgo. Messages for Virgo for April for the highest good. Spirits, guide my hands. Messages for Virgo, the water bearer for April for their highest good. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Spirit, guide my hands. Spirit, guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Virgo for their highest good for April. Spirit, guide my hands. Spirit, guide my hands. Messages for Earth sign Virgo for their highest good for April. What does Virgo need to see? What does Virgo need to know for their highest good for April? Spirit, guide my hands. All right, we got some all the way out here. All right, so what we're gonna do now is pull in the bones and charms. Doesn't change their meaning when they go out onto the white part of the mat. It's just that they are in these divided sections that we'll talk about in a minute, but it just means it's past energy. So it could be past energy in work and money. It could be past energy in body and mental health. It could be past energy in spiritual unconscious, right? It could also be past energy in relationships and love, right? So, sorry guys, I thought I had put my phone on silent. There we go. So again, I'm just gonna bring in some of the bones and charms that have kind of gone really far off of the mat, so we can see them better, but it won't change their meaning. Now also too, I will be taking the camera down in a few moments, just to bring everything closer for you guys to see. But I like to kind of keep the camera up first, so you can see the bones and charms and kind of how they've been casted. And I'm just going to flip over a couple of them that I can, that are easy to flip over. So again, when we take the camera down and we get closer, the stuff will kind of roughly be already ready. Okay, almost there. So we do need to find out where Spirit wants to start this reading as well, since it's different for every reading. So I'm going to go ahead and just hover my hands over real quickly and see where they want us to begin. All right, thank you guys for your understanding. Spirits, please guide my hands. Where would you like me to start this Virgo reading for April? Spirits, please guide my hands. Where would you like me to start the Virgo reading for April? Yeah, okay. So very strong right here. I double checked. That's where they want to start. All right, so we're going to start in the work and money section, Virgo, and then kind of go from there and see where Spirit is going to lead us. But just right off the bat, when looking at your bones and charms here, I would say that your two busiest sections this month is work and money, relationships and love. Doesn't mean that there aren't things going on in the other two sections, but that's just kind of how they fell this time. All right, but yeah, let me go ahead and get the camera and I'll show you guys everything more up close here. And let's see, I do want to also just turn on the fan a little bit because it's getting hot in here. Okay. All right, so let me show you here, Virgo. So like I said, a lot of your majority of your bones and charms is kind of fallen in these two sections. You still have stuff going on in the other two, but that's really where the energy is being drawn this month, okay? Um, Now, Virgo, it looks like I said before, they also want to start here and work in money with this first raccoon penis bone. So that's where we're going to go ahead and start. But I also just wanted to say, right, as you come to this reading, this could be about you or someone else, multiple people, general environment situation. So always take it how it may resonate for you. And if it doesn't resonate, always check out your other placements. For instance, if you're a Virgo sun sign, then you can also check out where you have moon in your birth chart, where you have your rising or ascendant sign too. And then also for matters of love, check your Venus signs too for even more messages. All right. Anyway, with that being said, Virgo, let's see what's going on here for you this month, okay? A lot of activity in work and money or finances. And again, a lot of it is also in the past, things that want to be spoken about over here. So again, anything that falls off the black main mat and into the white parts, it's still in those sections where we have those divided lines. It's just past energy, okay? But the first thing that we were drawn to, Spirit was telling me, was to start here with your first raccoon penis bone, okay? And so when we talk about the raccoon penis bones, you have one on top of the other here. This is talking about higher vibrational masculine energy. And we all know that we have masculine and feminine inside of us, regardless of how we identify or our gender, any of those things, right? But this is, we're going to say, higher vibrational masculine energy. It's talking about being proactive or assertive or aggressive in a certain sense, maybe around some current challenges, because we do have the mountain charm here, Virgo, showing up in the work and money or finances section. And if we follow that, a lot of stuff is touching it as well. And then going out into the past, we'll definitely talk about that. But around some of the challenges here, we also have the lock charm. Then on top of that is the ship charm, and then the wish, which is then leading to the irresponsibility coin. So if there are some current challenges or challenges coming up with the work, the money, the finances, it could be that there's some stagnant energy here that really needs to move. This could possibly help with some type of travel, or there's challenges with the work or money finances, because of those things, like maybe we can't travel or we're supposed to travel, but there's some kind of blockage here or stagnant energy. There could be a wish to travel, but maybe we can't, right? Because we have to work, or there's something going on with the money, the finances here. And then I also see that this doesn't have to necessarily be you, Virgo. It could be, again, someone else, multiple people, general environment situation. But there is a little bit of this irresponsibility energy showing up here. So being irresponsible with the work, the money, the finances, or our sense of being valued if we're no longer working. This started maybe a little bit in the past, all right, if we look at where that falls off the black mat and then onto the white mat here. But it's definitely still in the future, current, present energies, okay? But I do like that right underneath it and crossing the line, but it still applies to this section, is the angel coin, okay? And the angel coin is touching the first honeybee here, okay? So the honeybee talks about our individual power and our sense of community power. So this could be like your angels, your spirit guides, ancestors, past on loved ones, friends, family, whatever you want to call it, right? Your spiritual team is maybe like, even if there's still some irresponsibility energy here because of some challenges and stagnant energy with the work, the money, the finances, that they're saying maybe to look at something here about, the metaphor of the honeybee and maybe how that can help you or help someone else or help the energy in general. So like finding out, well, who are the worker bees and who's the queen bee? Do they need each other, right? They definitely do. So there's something, just going on there. But as we go more back into the past here too, before we go forward and talk about all these other things, I can see that in the past someone was chewing over and digesting maybe how to have more luck with the work, the money, the finances here in the past, with this human tooth bone that is then touching the horseshoe and the ladybug inside of it. I could also see that in the past, there was a lot of cleansing going on, or a need for cleansing or slowing down with clearing and cleansing things with the work, at work, with the money, the finances. So clearing away things that are no longer useful, or good for ourselves, good for the environment, etc., and real need to slow down here in the past. Okay, now that could be that clearing and the cleansing that started in the past around the work, money, finances was like our dreams, something to do with our dreams there, changing expectations or altering expectations there, with the dragonfly as well. Okay, this could even be stuff from past life, or it was just a long time coming there with the seashell charm. And I also see that perhaps in the past someone was trying to balance their emotions here with the cup. Okay, and then the yin yang charm. So balancing emotions at work with the money, the finances. Okay, and then I also see that this is still going on here. Okay, I just moved it by accident, but we have the raccoon claw is like touching the balance scales, right? So it's like balance, both the yin yang and the balance scales. So this could here, Virgo, have something to do with a Libra, or during Libra season, or where you may have Libra in your chart. It doesn't have to be, but a lot of times, let's say if you're a sun sign, Virgo, you're going to have a lot of stuff in your birth chart with the sign before you and the sign after you. Okay. But anyway, if you put all that zodiac stuff aside, it's just really about wanting this balance and this equal give and take with the work, the money, the finances. Okay, so this started in the past and is still kind of crossing over into the future, current, present energies. If we go this way, I can also see here, Virgo, we have my listening seashell, right? Because if it was big and we put it up to our ear, we could essentially hear the ocean. So perhaps you or someone else or an energy in the past was really listening to like someone's memories of how they may be unique, or the lack of feeling unique with the work, the money, the finances. This is really interesting that this showed up here in the Virgo reading, because I believe it was in either the Cancer or the Leo reading too, in a different place, of course. But there's like this maybe unconscious collective reoccurring theme here of like, what are my memories associated with work and money and feeling a sense of being valued, and how those memories, and listening to the memories of like, well, what am I naturally good at, right? Where do I fly backwards like the hummingbird and not fly forwards like regular birds, so to speak? But this hummingbird is the fastest bird and gets the sweetest nectar, even though they do things differently. So perhaps in the past someone was listening for this, or trying to work through this, or the energy was, if it wasn't you or another person, or again, it could be something about the collective unconscious or general astrology at this time. So it's very interesting that it's kind of showing up again. Now, if we go this way a little bit in the past here too, Virgo, still in your work and money section, we can see the nutmeg is here, and then we have the goat, my symbol for the goat, Capricorn energy. So this could have something to do in the past with the Capricorn during Capricorn season, where you have Capricorn in your chart. Or in addition to being those things or none of those things, it's just really about, well, where do we put in the effort, the hard working, never giving up, resilient energy of the goat of Capricorn. So traversing those difficult pathways and trying to be flexible, going up the mountain only way that the goat knows how to do it, right? So it could be that there was a lot of abundance with the work, the money, the finances in the past because of all of this hard work or effort or something, either that you were putting in or someone else, or just the energy was there for that, okay? Now, as we go back up this way into more of the future, current, present energies, we can see that with that second raccoon penis bone, right, we started over here and then kind of went this way and up and around and down. But the second raccoon penis bone, if we go this way, it's not only touching the irresponsibility coin here that we talked about in the angel coin and the honeybee, it's also touching this way the mermaid, okay? And then that is touching the puzzle piece that is then touching the turkey wishbone and a lot of other things over here. So it's like here, Virgo, we have that higher vibrational masculine energy, that maybe there's something that has been wanted for a very long time with the mermaid, a big piece of the puzzle, okay, with the work, the money, the finances. Somebody could be wishing for something to do with children, okay? It could be 3D physical children, your children or someone else's that are alive. Or it could also just be a sense of this childlike wonder or energy or your own inner child stuff coming in. But I also see here too that, like, you know, someone could be chewing over and digesting this with this other human teeth bone here. They're not touching, but they're like really close and right on the line too, and still in this section, okay? Now, as we get closer and go this way, Virgo, this flexibility that the dog ankle bone is showing up here and representing, like someone's really wishing for more flexibility with the work, with the money, the finances, and maybe it's like over time that flexibility is going to help with all these emotions that are showing up here too, with the water charm, and then with the rope charm as well. It's like over time there's going to be something here about this childlike energy or someone's real actual children or children that aren't even your own, but it's something showing up here. And I can see that right under the child, right, is we have our second honeybee here, if you guys can see that, okay? So really, again, something about the individuality and the community power. So individual power and community power, and how that affects the children or the childlike energy at work, and how maybe even to balance some of these emotions, right? Because remember we said in the past too, we had that cup here and wanting to balance the emotions in the past. So then on the other side here, Virgo, we've got the fork, we've got the twin fish, which is then touching the key, okay? And then on this side we have part of the armadillo backbone. So it's like Pisces energy, first of all, is showing up here. It could have something to do with the Pisces or during Pisces season, or where you have Pisces in your chart. Oops, as I just messed that up. It's okay. It's not that bad. Or it doesn't have anything to do with Pisces, and it's just really about, well, where do we go with the flow? Where do we, go with the tide and not against it, and let things flow here? But there's like a real, defining moment I'm hearing, where we have this fork where it's like, well, what are we digesting at work, with the work, the money, the finances? And is it like what we really wish for? Is it gonna provide us with some answers here? It looks like it definitely can, if you start asking those questions, or someone else, or multiple people, general environment situation. There could also be this thing where if you were really emotional with the work or money or finances in the past, or someone else was, and it still is a little bit here, that it's like, well, how can we then be like the armadillo? We already know someone's emotional with their soft underbelly, but maybe now it's like we need to have that hard outer shell at work, or with the work, the money, the finances. It's like showing like more toughness or more strength in another way. Not that showing your emotions means that you're not strong. I think it's to the contrary, but there's something about it's not even like being professional, because like, yeah, you wouldn't necessarily want to, depending on what type of job you have, show those things at work, but it's something different than that. I can't quite put my finger on it yet or get the right words for it. We'll know more as we go through here, Virgo. But as we go back this way, right, let me make sure the lighting here, there we go, gets a little clearer. Here we have, okay, one of the seashells. So we've got feminine energy. We have the coffin charm here. I'm just going to kind of flip it over so you can see it maybe a little bit better. I know it's hard when it's black on black. We have Cupid is underneath, okay, this seashell, and it's pointing, and it was also touching the chair, right? And then we have that deer tooth. So here it could be Virgo, that your spiritual team, right, past on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, guardian angels, just like the angel coin here and with the coffin, they kind of represent your spiritual team. There's something here about getting back to a sense of purity, chewing over and digesting this soft feminine receiving energy, being more flexible with the work, the money, the finances. It could be because of loved ones, right? Or your loved ones are supporting this, because it does also affect the home, right? So this could be your 3D physical home where you live, excuse me, but it could also be here, Virgo, like where do you feel at home with the work, the money, the finances, right? And because these things are kind of crossing that center circle and all touching each other here, right? This is going to affect a lot of the different areas in this reading, okay? Also, if we go this way, not only do we have the home here, if we go this way, we have the fish vertebrae backbone, and it's laying on top of, let me just move it out for a second. Here we have the seahorse, so this represents family, okay, Virgo? So there's definitely something going on here with the family, right? With things within the home. So this could be your blood family, your relatives, right? People you're related to, but it could also be in addition to that, or despite that, and not that, right? It could be whoever you consider your tribe, your trusted group of people. Whatever it is, they are very supportive here, or you're very supportive to them, or vice versa, right? Because that's that fish vertebrae backbone, okay? And they perhaps want to help you manifest whatever it is that you want to manifest. They perhaps want to help you bring in more good luck here with this alligator claw. They perhaps also want to help you bring in more passion, creativity, courage, and strength with the work, the money, the finances, okay? Because it leads into Leo the lion in here, and then the coyote claw. So it's like really about teamwork here, again, with people that you loved, loved ones, because the symbol here with Cupid is romantic love, platonic love with friends and family, self-love, all the loves, right? So I love this here for you, Virgo. It feels really nice and supportive, like both of you of others and others of you, right? This could have something to do with a Leo. It doesn't have to be. It could be someone who's a sun sign Leo, where you may have Leo in your chart, or even Leo season, okay? But again, it doesn't have to be. It could just be that representing that passion, that creativity, that fiery energy, and the strength and the courage to manifest these things with the work, the money, the finances, okay? Now we have a few last things here in terms of work and money, and then we'll move to the next section. But here I can see, remember how I said your spiritual team was heavy here? You had the angel coin, you have the coffin. Well, now over here you have the skeleton hand, Virgo, and it's right next to and touching the frog. So your spiritual team, again, passed on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, etc. They perhaps want to help you with this some type of leap of faith here. This could be you, Virgo. It could be someone else, multiple people, general environment situation. And what's a leap of faith, right? It's trusting that things are going to work out for the best, even though maybe we don't know if it's going to work out for the best, right? I see here too, Virgo, that we have the freedom handcuffs here very beautifully next to the sun, and then the ship anchor, and then going this way, we have the fish, right? So it's like there's going to be some type of happy energy here, a sense of freedom around where do I feel free? Yes, but also safe. Okay, so we drop our anchor when we need to stop our ship, and we lift it when we need to go to feel free. So, as these freedom and safety becomes more clear with the work, the money, the finances, this is going to bring in more happiness and success here. Okay. And I don't know if I mentioned the lizard being all the way out here before, okay, but there's a lot of healing energy coming in, okay, in these the work and money finance areas, okay, because remember we started off with talking about the challenges and a little bit of the stagnant energy and the irresponsibility. um, that is here, but it could be that those things were acting as a catalyst to then get all this other really good stuff happening, okay, and the healing to come in. All right. So that's pretty much what I'm seeing for the work and money section, Virgo. But now let's go ahead and move into your relationships and love section, your other most busiest section this month. Since we were kind of already talking about some of the things that were on the line, they apply this way, but they of course apply that way as well. Okay. But let's start off with some past energy here too. All right. And see what was going on. Okay. So, Virgo, this way we've got the envelope charm. We have the money bags. Okay. We have the masculine charm. We've got that first honeybee. We've got half of the witch charm here. We have that angel coin again. And we have the irresponsibility coin as well, touching all of these things. Okay. Going that way. But the things that are right on the line also still apply this way, okay? So we also see here too, Virgo, that we have that human tooth bone with the horseshoe in the ladybug. It's not touching the broom, okay? So I'm going to not talk about those things, and those things aren't touching these things. But it does look like here that in the past, Virgo, you or someone else, again, multiple general environment situation, could either have received a message or given a message that had a lot of abundance in it, right? So when we're talking about relationships and abundance, it's not necessarily money, it's just that feeling of being valued, right? Or being happy or working towards whatever it is that we want in our relationships. So you could have received a message here or given a message here in the past, in one relationship or all relationships, that had something, to do with like, how do I have more success in my relationships? How do I have more good luck in my relationships? Somebody or some energy was thinking a lot about this in the past. We see that here. They maybe wanted to be more proactive or assertive with the masculine energy here. We can also see here in the past that with that honeybee touching the angel coin, that maybe somebody was thinking about, or the energy was just showing up like, what is my individual power in my relationships, and what's the sense of community power in my relationships? What are the other people, doing, and what am I doing, right? Your angels are showing up here and blessing that, and maybe that started in the past and it's still coming in here into the future, current, present energies. I really like that the witch charm is here, because she's my symbol for friends, a group of friends, or a friendly type of energy that maybe is helping you with this, or will be helping you with this. Because if we continue to go back down this way, right, we can see that maybe a little bit in the past here, there was some type of irresponsibility energy showing up in the relationships as well. Okay, again, either romantic, platonic, self-love, or all the relationships. There could have been some type of wish for travel or movement or healing, right? To be healing by water, that maybe had some type of stagnant energy around it here with the lock, and was very challenging with the mountains. Okay. But I do feel like most of that is past energy, but it still has to process and go through the current future energy a little bit as well. Now, this could have been here, something Virgo, where this was like stuff from past lives or wanted for a long time, some kind of big wish. Again, either to something to do with children, like 3D physical children, right? Either your children or someone else's. If it's not physical children, it could be a childlike energy or your inner child, okay, inside of yourself, okay? But there was a lot of chewing over and digesting, and still is. Your spiritual team is maybe like, well, how can you get back that childlike energy or learn from children in your life? Okay, with the deer tooth here and then leading into the dog ankle bone. How can we have more flexibility in our life to spend more time with children or get into this childlike energy? There's a big, big wish here for that. And over time, I do feel that this can happen. Now, also, this childlike energy can teach you or someone else, or the energy, something here with your second honeybee, right, that was hiding underneath it. So something to do about individual power and community power within our relationships. So who's the queen bee, right, and who's the little worker bees? Not that it has to be that kind of division, but it's like who's putting in effort and who's the boss, maybe. Or if it doesn't have to be like that, it could just be how are we working together to get the honey and live our best life, or something like this. Okay, so that's definitely showing up here. There's a lot of emotions as well during this month, or whenever you see this reading, since all the readings that I do are timeless. Okay, but I feel that these emotions are leading to, like, someone, or again, some energy here being like, well, what am I digesting in my relationships here with the fork? What kind of relationships do I want? What are my current relationships like, right? There's something here possibly about a Pisces, but doesn't have to be Virgo, with a twin fish there, or Pisces season, or Pisces in your chart. But there's really something about when we ask ourselves these questions, or someone else does, or the energy does, about what we digest in our relationships. This leads to more of a going with the flow energy, right? So we want the fish to go with the tide, not against it. That's when we're going to possibly get more answers here, okay? Or someone else's, or just the energy in general, right? Now, also here too, with a piece of the armadillo vertebrae backbone there, Virgo, it could be something about if there's a lot of emotions, right? How do we have that hard outer shell too, to help with processing these emotions in one relationship or all relationships? Because remember, if we go back this way, we have that feminine energy, soft receiving energy that perhaps your spiritual team wants you to work with, that within your relationships, again, all types of relationships. And maybe ask too how that affects not only your physical home where you live, right, but how that affects where you feel at home and safe within your relationships, okay? Because there is, if we go this way, this beautiful supportive energy, Virgo, going back to this fish vertebrae that's then on top of the seahorse, right? So it's like something to do with family, blood family, or whoever you consider your tribe or your people. Perhaps they want to help you manifest these things, and you vice versa to them, okay? And there's a lot of passion and creativity here with Leo the lion, that's touching all these things, right? So could have something to do with the Leo, where you have Leo in your chart, or Leo season, but doesn't have to be. It's just that passion, that creativity, and the strength and the courage to work as a team with others, right? So they always say, with any relationship, right, even friendships, that it takes two to tango, right? So I see a lot of this beautiful, like, supportive energy here. Now, if we go back this way here, Virgo, I can see that maybe this was more out here, it moved a little bit. There's a little bit of confusion here about how to plant these seeds, planting the right types of seeds in which relationships. And if that's happening, right, first of all, remember Venus goes direct April 12th, okay? So Venus rules all types of relationships and love. So let that be known. It's going to take some speed and time to get back to its normal operating speed. But know that if there's some confusion there, that's part of the collective unconscious and general astrology at this time. But I love this here, Virgo, because it's like listen with the listening bells to the transformations that may be happening in your relationships. It could also be listen to someone that is a higher up than you or has more knowledge or confidence in some way to maybe help with this transformation in the relationships. It could also be your own leadership qualities here showing up, Virgo, helping with this transformation and listening to these things. Because there's also something here about possibly boundaries, right? Because here we have the bobcat tooth. So it could be you or just the energy or someone else chewing over and digesting what are the boundaries in my relationships that either reinforce or hurt the transformations that are wanting to show up here with the butterfly. Okay, I love this. All right, whatever falls in that center heart, okay, that's like the heart chakra. So here we have right in the middle of the heart the lightning bolts, Virgo. So it's like new ideas, okay. Really beautiful for all of the relationships here, or one relationship. Of course, we have the emotions here with the water charm, and then we have the chair, the home that we talked about, and we have that feminine energy. So it's like be open here, Virgo, or someone else, or just the energy in general. Be in that higher vibrational feminine energy that we all have inside of us somewhere, to be open to these new ideas about something to do with the home or where we feel at home in our relationships. Because if we go this way here, Virgo, we've got the leaf then touching the peace doves and then that raccoon claw. So it's like manifesting, clearing away things that are no longer useful to bring in this beautiful, peaceful energy. Okay. I love that, Virgo. All right. Now the last thing here for the relationships that I see is this little group over here that we haven't talked about yet. Okay. So here we can see right on the line, we've got the star, which is on top of Pegasus, the winged horse, which is then touching one of the coyote penis bones. And then we also have a whale vertebrae bone piece here. Okay. And then that is touching the safety pin, and that's touching the bow and arrow. Okay. I love this too here for you, Virgo, because this is like how to take this higher vibrational masculine energy to keep following your North Star, to bring in a sense of freedom in your relationships, freedom, but also support, freedom and safety and support, all the things. That's beautiful. And then we have something here. This could have something to do with the Sagittarius, but it doesn't have to be. It could be Sagittarius where you have Sag in your chart or someone else's, or it could be Sagittarius season. And if it's none of those zodiac things or in addition to those zodiac things, it could just really be about what are your relationship goals, right? So where do you pull back that arrow and hit your target? So here it's saying, Virgo, that it's safe to have these relationship goals and dreams. It's more than safe. It's going to make you feel more free, okay, and supported long term. And it's a big part of like following your North Star in your relationship journeys right now. So very beautiful, Virgo. But let's keep going now. I think that's everything in terms of the relationship section. So now we're going to move into your body and mental health section and start with what's showing up here in the past. Okay. So here I can see we've got the snake vertebrae. All right. we have the bat, and then we have one of the human tooth bones, okay? All past energy in the body and mental health section. So someone or some energy in the past could have been chewing over and digesting. How do I have more success and communicate where I need support and success for my support system for someone's body and mental health? So the support system can be friends, family, romantic partner, mental health care practitioner, doctors, what have you, since we're talking about body and mental health. So someone or some energy was chewing over and digesting this in the past. And we say that too because bats are blind, right? So they use sound and echolocation to communicate. So it's like somebody was thinking about how to communicate this. And maybe if the support system in the past was changing a little bit with the snake vertebrae, the backbone here, that was just like part of learning how to adjust to that in some way here, okay? For you or for someone else, or the energy in general, Virgo. As we go into the future, current, present energies, we have another coyote penis bone here, divine masculine energy, being more proactive, assertive, or aggressive with the body and mental health. There could be something here about exercising, because we have the bike here, or just showing a lot of movement in general and change happening with someone's body and mental health, okay? And double good luck. Look at this. This is so cool. And the yes coin. My goodness. Okay, Virgo. So it's like lots of good luck here for someone's body and mental health, and the blessings of the yes coin. So, so beautiful. We can see on the other side here, Virgo, that Saturn is showing up, okay? And then we also have the feminine charm here. So Saturn always gets us serious and organized and disciplined and having more responsibilities with our health, okay? For either, again, you or someone else, or just the environment too, right? What's the mental and body health environment here with the spider and the spider web? I want to make sure there's nothing else under there. Oh, we do have a strawberry. Okay, so let me put this here, and that's the only one. Okay, so with the strawberry also showing up here, Virgo, it's like, yes, we have all this good luck. There is some type of yes. You could be receiving a yes or giving a yes, but there's something about the details here, going over the fine, using a fine, oh my God, how do you say it? Using a fine tooth comb to go over the paperwork or the details of something here with someone's health, okay, is going to be important, and Saturn is going to help here, or it's influencing this, okay? Now, with the feminine energy here as well, this is that soft receiving energy that's maybe helping manifest all of this good luck too, and being open to it and receiving it or giving it, whatever, or both, right? So I also see here, Virgo, that there is a lot of manifesting for this positive body and mental health here. We can see that with the alligator claw, and remember what was underneath. The alligator claw is touching the fish vertebrae, which is then touching the seahorse. So seahorse represents family, blood family, or whoever you consider your family or your tribe. Okay, they're very supportive of this, or they will be, or you're supportive of them, vice versa, etc. And this does lead into more passion and creativity and courage to deal with the body and mental health things that may be popping up, and working together as a team, okay, with that coyote claw. So it could be working with doctors, trainers, mental health care practitioners, whatever it is, but it is very positive here. Now this could have something here, Virgo, to do with the Leo, or during Leo season, or where you have Leo in your chart, or it doesn't have anything to do with those things, and it's just that passion and the creativity and the strength and the courage, okay? But I definitely like that. Now as we go this way, Hermes, no. No. Sorry, guys. You gonna misbehave? I'm gonna lock you out. Okay. Hold on, guys. You're about to be locked out, Hermes. No. Holly, it's okay. Okay. Hermes, it's okay. Come here. Come here. No. You stay here. It's alright. Bye, Hermes. Stay out there. It's okay. Alright. Sorry, guys. That was probably somebody walking down the street or the mailman. Who knows? Where was I? Okay, yes. So we were over here in body and mental health. Just finished talking about these few things, and then we're going to go this way. So what I was about to say was, not only do we have family, we have loved ones, right? Romantic, platonic, self-love showing up here. Again, feminine energy with the seashell, echoing the feminine charm over here. Something to do with home, where we live, right? And family. But also, where do we feel at home in our body and in our mind, right? So your spiritual team here with, again, that coffin charm that's hard to see, but it's there. They're like, let's chew over and digest how to get back a sense of purity for the body and mind, and how to bring in more flexibility there. So you could be really wishing for that. Your spiritual team could also be really wishing for that, Virgo. And it's like over time, this can either affect children in the 3D physical world, let's say in your family or with your friends, or if it's not that, or in addition to that, it could also just be like your own inner child work here, okay? Because it's also, remember, asking, what are we now, because we're in body and mental health, what are we physically digesting in our body here with the fork for our diet, and then also what are we mentally digesting here, okay? Because there's going to be some answers when we ask those questions. So it could have something to do with the Pisces, again, with Pisces here, the twin fish, or where you have Pisces in your chart, or during Pisces season. But if it's none of those things, or addition to those things, it could really just be about how can we go with the flow when we ask these questions, and maybe not be so hard on ourselves, but be honest and continue to ask those questions about what are we physically eating and mentally digesting, okay? Also here with the armadillo vertebrae and that second honeybee that was hiding underneath there, it's like, what is our community power, okay, and our individual power when it comes to somebody's health here? So are we working with the doctors, the trainers, mental health care practitioners, whatever, and then what's my individual responsibility or someone else's individual responsibility here? So I definitely see that showing up too. So it's like, don't be too hard on yourself, but have both the soft receiving feminine energy and then the masculine energy to go after these things. So as we go this way here, Virgo, in terms of body and mental health, it's saying that, again, it's safe for you or someone else to maybe change the goals or reshape the goals for the body and mental health. So where do we pull back that arrow and hit our targets, right? This could also have something to do with a Sagittarius or during Sagittarius season, or where you have Sag in your chart, but it doesn't have to be. Because if we like change or alter or reshape our body and mental health goals, this is going to make us feel more aligned with our North Star or someone else's, or the energy in general. This is going to help us get a sense of freedom and safety, right? Because we have freedom, the winged horse, and then safety, the safety pin. But also this is going to help us feel more support, okay, with the whale vertebrae bone there as well, okay? Yeah, so that's pretty much what I have for the body and mental health. Wait, I left something out. Yeah, no, this stuff here, because they're all touching. I talked about these things, but this is still touching that, which is touching this, and going back here. So we'll talk about that real quickly and then move to your last section. But yeah, a big part of the puzzle that could even come from past lives or a long time coming here with the mermaid and the puzzle piece, Virgo, in terms of someone's body and mental health, is if there is a little bit of irresponsibility energy here, being irresponsible with the body or mental health, it goes back to individual power and community power. Okay, so what am I responsible for my own health, and how can the doctors or trainers or professionals also help me with that? So your angels and your spiritual team just wants you to think about that. But also, if there was a little bit of irresponsibility energy, or it's still there, right? It's like, how do we then like forgive ourselves or forgive someone else or move past that to get back into this higher vibrational masculine energy to deal with the health challenges, to help figure out how to clear some stagnant energy here. And maybe there's something again like a wish for travel or to be by water, or how healing water is, because I definitely see that with the wish charm and the ship charm as well. Okay. All right. Now we're done with that section. Now it feels more complete. All right. So our last section here, Virgo, we're coming to the spiritual unconscious, or intuition. You could also call it that. Okay. And it's probably your least active section, but as we know, there's a lot of things that cross the center circle that apply to all the different areas, so it doesn't necessarily mean it's not stuff still happening there. Okay, but let's see what's going on here in the past. Okay, so both of your skulls are showing up here, Virgo, in the spiritual unconscious intuition section, right? And that's in the past. So where we see a skull in a reading can tell us where someone's mind was at, and back in the past, it was definitely here in the spiritual unconscious. There could have been some questions here in the past about how to find more spiritual abundance, or if there was spiritual unconscious intuitive abundance. Maybe somebody was like, I don't deserve it, or they're confused about it or something here. I do also see like heavy focus here with the apple, okay, that was kind of underneath and touching this skull. Like in the past, something about a teacher, a mentor, a guide, a spiritual teacher, unconscious, intuitive teacher, mentor, a guide, or it was your own leadership qualities here, Virgo, or someone else's being heavy on someone's mind. And it's really interesting too, because where it is under the skull like that, it makes me think of the crown that we had all the way over here in relationships, right? The big transformations happening in relationships and working with someone who's a higher up or something, or having more knowledge or confidence. But here, this almost looks like a weird crown too, even though it's like the apple upside down. Okay, so very interesting. Now, as we move forward into the current, future, present energies for spiritual unconscious, I see the book charm here. I'm just moving up so you can see it too. So this can talk about spiritual, unconscious, intuitive downloads, or some type of knowledge. Okay, definitely being very big part here. I also see someone will be or is already doing their homework. Okay, with the scissors here right on the word spiritual, it's like cutting away things that are no longer useful. Is a big thing going on in this section, and it could be because of this knowledge that then you or someone else with the energy is able to cut these things away. We see feminine energy showing up here with the conch seashell, being soft, open, and receiving to all of this. And don't forget here too, Virgo, that we have all this good luck that also crosses over into the spiritual unconscious, right? So we have the green lucky rabbit's foot is then touching the 4-leaf clover over here. We've got the yes coin, okay, which is also touching Saturn. And then we have underneath it, we also have the strawberry. So there could be a lot of good luck and receiving some type of yes, or giving some type of yes here. Virgo, because Saturn is helping us get more serious or organized or responsible when it comes to our spiritual unconscious or our intuition. And this is also too, I forgot to say, like what we feel at night when we're alone, when we're sleeping, right? Because it's unconscious, coming to the surface, okay? So there is something about working with your spiritual team, okay, with this coyote claw here, and manifesting the passion and creativity for the spiritual unconscious, and maybe what this knowledge is. And it's so funny too, because remember I said the apple upside down here maybe looking like some type of crown in the past. It could just be here too, Virgo, that some of you guys, not everybody because it's a general reading, but maybe in the past you were a teacher, a mentor, a guide spiritually for others, past lives even, right? And it's like, why did I have all this abundance? Because maybe it's part of your past life here, okay, or past lives. So then maybe the knowledge comes in again, or it's more accessible again. This is just really cool. And then if we go back this way, that's like, yes, the passion, the creativity with the spiritual unconscious is there. The feeling of support is there too, with that fish vertebrae. And that could be with the family or whoever you consider your family or tribe. It doesn't have to just be blood family, but it's like manifesting these things. And look at it, it's going almost towards the mouth. Wow, Virgo, look at that. Speak your truth, your spiritual unconscious truth. So if you look at the figure on the mat who's meditating, that alligator claw is like almost pointing to the mouth to me, okay? Big thing. So be a spiritual unconscious intuitive teacher. Speak the truth, speak the knowledge. Very, very cool. Now as we go this way here, Virgo, we also have Cupid, right? My symbol for all types of love, romantic, platonic, self-love. We have, again, feminine energy with the seashell, and something to do with either where we live, but this time we're in spiritual unconscious. So where do we feel at home within our spirit, right? And it's like speaking that to others or helping others find that, or I don't know. It's just really cool. Now, as we go this way here, Virgo, your spiritual team here, again, with the coffin showing up, and then the deer tooth, the dog ankle bone, the rope charm on top of the baby, and then the baby's inside of that turkey wishbone. Your spiritual team could be like, let's see, how do we get back to the sense of purity and flexibility with actual children, yours or someone else's, or inner child work, right? And asking now the question when we see the fork this way of what am I spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively digesting, okay? Because there's going to be a lot of answers with that question that we ask ourselves of others, and ourselves, right? And there's something about going with the flow here with this. Could have something to do with the Pisces or during Pisces season, or you have Pisces in your chart. But also the soft underbelly and the hard outer shell, because here we have the armadillo vertebrae, bone, backbone here. So if we have this hard outer shell, maybe that's just how people perceive us in some way, but then underneath, when they hear us speaking, they can see this spiritual unconscious intuitive side coming out for you or for someone else. But that's where we're going to see a lot of answers, okay? Because again, not only speaking something here, but where do we take the fork normally? Normally, if we're talking about body and mental health, we put it to our mouth, right? But when we're talking spiritually, it's something about even the mouth or the throat chakra here. It's a big thing here about communication. This now is the last few things we'll say here, as it applies to spiritual unconscious. But yeah, it's like the turkey wishbone then goes to the puzzle piece, which is then touching the mermaid, which is then touching these two raccoon penis bones, right? So if there was, and or still is, a little bit of this spiritual, unconscious, intuitive irresponsibility on someone's part or in the energy in general. Your spiritual team is like, well, let's look at the collective. Let's look at the individual, spiritual, unconscious responsibility. Let's look at the collective as well, right? Because if there's a wish here for more healing and being able to travel, even maybe astral travel or lucid dreaming or something here, because again, we're in this section, but it applies over here, is like if there's some challenges or stagnant energy, how can we take the divine masculine energy and kind of work through that, okay? Also maybe do some clearing too. I think this was more like that. It wasn't originally touching it, but it was now. So clearing and cleansing, of course, any challenges and stagnant energy spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively as well, okay? So I hope some of that will start to make sense, or already does, or will in the future. But really, really cool, beautiful reading here, Virgo. Always feel free to let me know in the comments, whether on YouTube, Facebook, or eventually TikTok, if this resonated for you, or if you want to just say hello. No worries, whatever you feel comfortable with. All right, but beautiful reading. Enjoy this time period, April. Oh, so about to call you April. Enjoy this time period, Virgo, in April and beyond. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna put the camera down for a little bit as we go ahead and switch over to the Libra energies. So we're gonna clear away the bones and charms and let them rest with the crystals, and we'll probably do another sound bell, of course, maybe some incense, we'll see. But yeah, thank you, Virgo. And now, oh shit, I forgot to take a picture. Wait. Hold on. Let me try to put it back the way it was. I got too excited. Always take a picture. This was here. This was here. I caught myself though. Hold on. I didn't take away too much. All right. Let me take this picture real quick. I always take a picture and then I put it on my Facebook page after the live is done. For some people, if they want to look at the bones and charms again in more detail. Okay, we got the picture, my God. Okay, so now we can put away the bones and charms. Okay, save the day. I got the pictures, all okay. All right. And I think I need a little bit more sips of coffee here, guys. I've been talking a lot. 1 second. Okay. Let's continue to put these guys away real quickly. And I'm going to rotate the mat too. So when I cast the bones and charms, I always have my eyes closed, but I like to rotate the mat periodically too, so I'm not thinking about anything in my head about where things are gonna fall. So let's just do it that way maybe. All right, and we're gonna cover the bones and charms with lots of crystals, and we're gonna thank the animals that we have some of their bones and the charms for their knowledge and energy, and just kind of let them chill over there for a minute. Get our sound bell here. And yeah, I think that's good. So I'm gonna put the camera back up, and that way you guys can see as I'm casting the bones and charms, and then I'll bring it back down again when we are ready to get closer after we've casted them. All right, so let me put this back up here and see if we can get a decent angle. Okay, actually that was pretty good. First time there. Okay, so hey guys. All right. So let's do a little sound bell here for Libra, And we're going to release also the Virgo energy and welcome in the Libra energy and kind of see what spirit messages they have for Libra for April. All right. So if you feel guided, you can take a couple of deep breaths while we do the sound bowl, or you can just listen, whatever feels right for you. But this is a great way to clear energy from the previous reading and just in general to reconnect to my guides. And if you guys want to take a couple of deep breaths, it's up to you. All right, so here we go. So this is going to be for Virgo for April. Whoops, not Virgo. Try again. For Libra for April. Libra. Let's go ahead and put this to the side here. And now we are going to shuffle the bones and charms just like we would do tarot cards, okay? So this is just going to clear energy and get the energy ready to do its thing with the spirit messages, okay? All right, so thank you guys for your patience and understanding. It may be a little bit loud again, just briefly. It's not for the whole reading. All right, so thank you for your patience and understanding. Spirits, please guide my hands. Messages for air sign Libra, the balance scales for April. What does Libra need to see? What does Libra need to know for the highest good? Spirit messages. Spirit messages for Libra for the highest good for April. What does air sign Libra, the balance scales need to see, need to know for their highest good? It feels ready. All right. Spirit, guide my hands. Spirit, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Libra, the balance scale for April. What does air sign Libra need to see, need to know for their highest good? What does air sign Libra need to see, need to know for their highest good for April? Spirit, please guide my hands. Messages for air sign Libra for their highest good for April. Spirit, guide my hands. Messages for air sign Libra for their highest good for April. Spirit, guide my hands. Messages for Libra for April for their highest good. Spirits, guide my hands. All right. I know we had 2 jump off the table, so hold on, let me go get them. 1 second, guys. All right. So I'll just put them right here. They're both in this section. They just went that way, okay? So it doesn't change their meaning. I just brought them closer. So when we get to that point in the reading where I'm taking the camera down and you see everything more clearly, that is why I'm moving stuff closer. But it doesn't change the meaning. Okay. Just bear with me, guys, a few moments. I'm flipping over some of the charms as well, so it'll be ready. When we bring the camera down. I think that's pretty good. I'll flip over some of them as we go through. If they're too close together, I usually will wait. All right. I think that's good. All right. So I'm also, really quickly before we bring the camera down, guys, I'm going to ask Spirit where they want to start this reading because it's always different for every reading. So just bear with me for a moment. Okay. Spirits, please guide my hands. Where would you like me to start this Libra April reading? Pen here. So it looks like they want to start in the spiritual unconscious, right where that big buckeye is. So that is what we will do. And then we'll kind of go from there and see where they're leading us next, okay? But right off the bat here, Libra, I would say, yeah, your two busiest sections this month are probably work and money, and I mean, they're all busy, but I would say spiritual unconscious too, okay, because you can see, or you will see better when I bring the camera down, that these two sections are really busy. A lot of it, though, is past energy. And it's not to say that there aren't things happening in body and mental health and relationships and love, of course. But this is where a lot of them just kind of decided to go. So let's find out more about that, okay? So let me grab the camera here and we could go for a little ride and get closer. All right. So as you can see, Libra, what I'm talking about a little bit better now. These are like the two busiest sections so far. There's still things happening here, but there's a lot here, okay? And of course, that's one of the sections that they wanted me to start in, was I was feeling the energy pulled right here where we have that buckeye. It was like really hot. So that's where we're gonna start. And move my pen, okay? But yeah, let's see, Libra, what's going on? So this first section where we're gonna start, this is your spiritual unconscious. This is your intuition, what you feel at night, when you're alone, when you're sleeping, your first gut reactions to things, right? That's the kind of the best way to describe this section. And as you come to this reading though too, this could be about you, about someone else, multiple people, general environment, situation. So always take what resonates and leave the rest behind. And always feel free to check out your other placements too. So what your sun, moon, and rising or ascendant sign is, all that good stuff, okay? But everyone is welcome regardless of where they may have Libra in their chart, all right? So yeah, let's see what's going on here in this past spiritual unconscious energy. So we have these few charms here. They're all kind of like separate, right? But they're out here in the past. So anything on the white mat, okay, is past energy, and the black is going to be future, current, present energies, possibilities. Okay, so we can see out here, all right, Libra, that there was possibly, it's still going on, but it started in the past, maybe some spiritual unconscious challenges here with the mountain charm, right? So going up difficult, large mountains, okay? And it could be that someone or some energy in the past was trying to chew over and digest with this human tooth bone, maybe how to find more spiritual unconscious support, okay? Here with this snake vertebrae that was just turned on its side there. All right, so someone or some energy also too is maybe listening for spiritual unconscious intuitive messages, either from their friends and or the collective and themselves, like all of that, right? To help with these challenges that were showing up here. Now there could be something about the details, because it's right on the line between these two sections with the strawberry, but it still applies, right? So yeah, it's like the witch charm represents a friend or a group of friends or friendly type of energy. The bumblebee is individual power and community power, right? So someone in the past or an energy was trying to be like, well, where is the spiritual unconscious support? Is it from my friends? Is it from myself? Is it also from the community, right? It could be that in the past the spiritual unconscious support was maybe changing with the snake vertebrae here, since snakes shed their skin and evolve and represent change, right? All right, I'll just put that back kind of roughly the way it was. Now, as we go this way, though, Libra, we have the yes coin showing up here, half in the past, half in the future, and it's right next to the star charm, and then it leads into the first raccoon penis bone. We got the mermaid over here, we got the seashell, so let's just stop there for a second. So you could have given a yes or received a yes, okay, in the past, or maybe it's coming up as well, right? But this has something to do with like following where you feel right spiritually, unconsciously, and intuitively, or for someone else or for the energy. This could have something to do with past lives or something that someone's wanted for a long time here with the mermaid. But I really like to see these two together here, Libra, since you're the balance scales and you're all about balance, right? So here we have masculine and feminine energy, highly vibrational for both. We all have masculine and feminine, right? So it's like being proactive, assertive, aggressive in one sense, and then also being soft and open and receiving energy in the past here as well, because there could have been a lot of new ideas that had good luck associated with them, spiritual, unconscious, intuitive ideas that came in the past, and this is kind of impacting the future, current, present energies as well, okay? So we can see a lot of movement here with the bicycle showing up as well, Libra. And then I love this, we have the lizard, I'll just move it out so you can see it, was on top of, okay, the ship anchor, right? So there's healing here, Libra, around where you feel a sense of freedom and safety spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively, okay, or for someone else or for the energy. A lot of healing around that and regrowth, okay? So I love that. I see someone or some energy trying to manifest this yes, okay? Again, whether you're receiving it or giving it, because this raccoon claw looks like it wants to go and hug the yes coin, all right? And I also see Saturn showing up here, father time, right? That more serious, stern energy, making us more responsible or delegating tasks, getting organized with our spiritual unconscious here. I know we have quite a few Saturn things happening in the general astrology for April, I know April 21st we have Saturn conjunct the North Node. If you go back and watch my other video where I talk about the astrology with the Taurus reading, you can hear more about that because I don't want to repeat it. But yeah, really, really interesting that Saturn is showing up there too. Could be part of the collective unconscious and the general astrology, not just for you here, Libra, okay? Now, as we go this way, Libra, excuse me, we have the baby here right on the line, and underneath on one side, we have the coyote penis bone, and then on the other side, we have the other coyote penis bone. I thought so. Wow. I've never seen that before. Or if I have, it's been a really long time. Look at that. It's almost like the baby's using them like skis or something. One's going up and one's going down. So the coyote penis bones represent divine masculine energy, okay, and team working energy too, since coyotes are in a pack animal, right? They hunt in a pack and live in a pack. But there's something about this baby, right? It's like this could be about your inner child. This could be about 3D physical children, yours or someone else's, that's really like wanting you or bringing up these messages about using the divine masculine energy to go after something spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively. Because it's not, well, it is kind of touching, but if it's not touching or very close to the first honeybee here. So this represents individual power and community power, okay? And when we're talking about our spiritual unconscious, right? So this could be our spiritual community, others, friends, family, etc. But also our individual power with that. So how can we use the divine masculine energy to also be more playful or something about this? Very interesting. So, I'm trying to remember how it was. Now I lost track. Hold on, guys. This was here? I'm trying to remember what was on the baby. No, it was the... Shit. Oh no, I lost train of thought. It wasn't this. It wasn't this. The yes coin was over there. It has to be the angel coin. I'm pretty sure it was the angel coin. Oh, I should have taken a picture in the beginning. No, because I don't remember seeing that. Was it the Buckeye? Is that Buckeye all the way out here? I think it was the Buckeye. Oh, that's terrible. I can't remember, guys. What the hell was on the baby? Was it that? No. I think, hold on. It has to be the angel coin, because whatever it was like, I'm pretty sure it was like that, because I couldn't see. Was it the angel coin? Oh man, guys, I need more coffee. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna say it was the angel coin. I wish I could rewind my video to see, but I can't do it live, I don't think. Wait, maybe I can do it with my phone. Hold on, guys. Wait a minute. Let's see. What if I go backwards? Let's see. So, just gonna move that. Go and hug the yes point. Oh, it was the Buckeye. Okay, thank God I was able to check. I didn't think it was this because I didn't remember seeing, sorry guys, I didn't remember seeing the crown that was under there. So it was the Buckeye. I'm losing it. Okay. Need more sleep, more coffee. Okay. Thank God I could look on the phone because I didn't want to make it up. I was like, God damn it. All right, we're okay though now. Okay, maybe there's a meaning about that, okay? So that baby though, to get back to the reading, right, is like very playful with all that masculine energy, okay? Remember, because this one was under that foot and that one was under that foot. It almost looked like little skis for the baby, okay? One going up and one going down. And now that I remember where the buckeye is, it's almost like the baby could be even straddling the buckeye, okay? So buckeye represents abundance, so spiritual, unconscious, intuitive abundance, okay? So very, very beautiful. That means whatever you want in these areas, okay, or someone else or the energy. So a big piece of that puzzle, though, because we had the puzzle piece under here, is working with our spiritual team, right? So then that's where we have the angel coin. So represents our angels, spirit guides, past on loved ones, friends, family, etc. And under that was the crown and then that puzzle piece. So a big part of the puzzle is working with the spiritual team. Big part of the puzzle also too here, Libra, could be something about working with a higher up, or something about your own leadership qualities here with that crown. So this could be working with a teacher, a mentor, a guide to help with the spiritual unconscious intuition. But it could also be your own leadership qualities and confidence and leveling up in these areas. Like your spiritual team really wants this for you. Now this could also have something to do with a Pisces here, because we have the twin fish. So it could be, with a sun sign Pisces, where you have Pisces in your chart, or even Pisces season. But if it's none of that zodiac stuff, or in addition to that, it could also just be here, Libra, like, where do we go with the flow with this? Okay, where do we trust the spiritual team too? Where do we go with the tide and not against the tide? Okay, because the other thing that is really big that we haven't talked about yet that's here is that cat's eye. So the cat's eye, if you're familiar with tarot, is like the moon card. So there could be something here, Libra, that you're not seeing clearly, spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively. It's not a bad thing, or for you or for someone else or for the energy. It just means we need more information, right? But despite that, or because of that, if we go this way here, Libra, we have the Norse symbol for protection. We have the green lucky rabbit's foot, right? All this beautiful protection and good luck. I can see the fork is peeking out underneath it, but I want to move this over and see what else we have under there. So then we also have the masculine charm, okay? So higher vibrational masculine energy that we had there and there with the baby is also showing up. So being proactive here, Libra, with asking some questions. What am I spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively digesting, right? Those are good questions to always ask from time to time for yourself and for others, okay? And then also, again, I didn't even see that until before. We had the crown under there, but here we also have the apple right on the line, and it still applies to this section. So again, something about a spiritual teacher, mentor, or guide, or your own leadership qualities here, stepping up into that energy. So I definitely like that. Now, last thing I'll say is, if we said before, I'll say again for the new people or haven't been here in a while, whatever falls in the center circle in your reading affects all the different areas, okay? So what we have in the center is our raccoon penis bone, and it's touching, you can't really see it with the lighting yet, but there we go. It's touching the question mark. And then over on this side, very close, not touching yet, but very close, is the turtle and then the rope charm, okay? So if there's still some spiritual, unconscious, intuitive questions, the advice here, Libra, is over time just to take things slow and ease up on overthinking all of this. Because if we turn the camera around this way, wait, that's not the way I want it to go. Sorry guys, I gotta do this. There we go. If we turn the camera around that way, you see that figure meditating on the mat here? Okay, that turtle and the rope charm is right by the head. Okay, so it's like crown chakra. So you know, we can overthink things spiritually, unconsciously, intuitively too, right? So if that happens, Spirit is like, just give it some time, okay? Because that's what I pretty much have as far as the spiritual unconscious. So let's go ahead now and move into, let's do body and mental health since we were kind of already here, okay? And just move this like that so we'll see that that's the scissors there. Sometimes things get lost in there. All right, so again, whatever's on the two lines on either side, okay, also affects this area as well, and whatever crosses that center circle. But let's look at what's in the past in this section first on the white part of the mat, and then we'll move inwards, okay? So we have all the way out here in the past is we have my listening seashell, if it was a big one, and we put it up to our ear, we could hear the ocean. We've got a piece of the whale vertebrae backbone here. We have a little bit of the cloud charm. We go this way, we've got the feather, and we also have right on the line here too in the past is that 4-leaf clover and the lightning bolt, okay? So I think my neighbors just got some lawn people here or something, so the dogs are going a little crazy, so I'll try to talk louder. But yeah, so basically here in the past, okay, Libra, in terms of someone's body and mental health, there could have been a lot of clearing that was going on, clearing and cleansing something from the body and the mind, and also this bringing in lots of good luck and new ideas when either you or someone else did this, okay? Because if we go back down this way, if there was some confusion perhaps around like, am I listening to the right support? Okay, am I going to the right doctors? Am I going to the right trainer? Whatever it is, we see that showing up a little bit in the past and then crossing just a little bit into the future, current, present energies, all right? So I feel like that's why the scissors are here, Libra, okay, is to cut away that confusion from the past, okay? If still here, let's just cut that away, okay? Because here you are, Libra, here's your symbol, Libra, you've got the balance scales, right? And so this is like an extra good luck symbol when it falls into body and mental health for some of you guys. It could be saying something like you're feeling more like yourself at this time, all right? Or you will be in the future, okay? Of course, it could also be that you're dealing with another Libra, sun sign Libra, or someone who's got a lot of Libra in their chart, or even during Libra season. But when it shows up here too, it could also just be that there's going to be more balance between the body and mental health here for you, okay? Sorry guys, I'm going to go grab my dog because I can't concentrate. 1 second. This is, okay. 1 second, guys. Mercury retrograde's almost over. Come here. Come here, Miss. All right. No more. Okay? Get down. Get down. Come on. Just relax, all right? You're fine. You don't have to bark at everybody. Please. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Let's see. So, just close all the blinds, and got the dog in here, so hopefully he'll be quiet now that he can't see the gardeners next door. All right, so we just talked about you here, right, Libra, in body and mental health, okay? So what I was saying was this is a good sign for any of you guys that have had any issues recently with your body or mental health, or for someone else. Okay, but in general, I see a nice division, right? Because we have body and then we have slash mind, body and mind, right? So one on each side of the balance scales. Okay, so I definitely like that for you. All right. Now I can see here too, Libra, that there might be during this time, whenever you see this reading, because my readings are timeless and are not just for April, right? Is that there's some memories here with the elephant that could be stored in the body, okay? Even though we think of memories as a mental thing, it could also be that there's some memories stored in the body that maybe need to be energetically cleared with Reiki or sound healing, or however different ways that you can do that. Of course, doing it with exercise and intention and all of that is a big thing. But I definitely just see a little bit of that there for you, for some of you guys, since it is a general reading, but nothing too alarming, okay? But I also see that when we cut away these things that are no longer useful here, cutting away that confusion that we talked about earlier, Libra, is that that's maybe when we're going to get some type of message and get some answers, okay? Even though they're kind of far apart, I do feel like they're coming. So when we see that envelope charm, it's like a letter, message, document. You could be, receiving some message or giving some message here that's going to bring some answers for you or for someone else or for the energy in general, okay? And it could be something about someone's health, right? But answers are here, so I definitely like that. We also have part of the green lucky rabbit's foot is also here for you in the body and mental health section, right? So lots of good luck, and then all that protection as well also applies to the body and mental health. With the fork hiding underneath there too, could be an emphasis on what are we physically eating, our diet, and also what are we mentally digesting, right? So that's always something to kind of be aware of. And then we know under here we have that masculine energy symbol with the charm. So being proactive or assertive or aggressive with these things is definitely a good approach to have, because the last thing here for this section, Libra, is if there are some questions that are about the health, right? It's like, go slow, because over time you will get those answers. You will get the information, or we've given the information or received the information or give it out to someone else, etc. So just don't rush it, and don't overwhelm your mind too much with all of these questions, okay? But yeah, that's kind of what I'm seeing in a nutshell here for you, Libra, for the body and mental health. But let's go ahead now and move into your next section over here. We're going to go into relationships and love now, and we'll start with stuff in the past and then move forward, okay? But if you can see here, once the camera that decides to focus, is here, Libra, we've got one of your skulls in the reading. Actually, both of your skulls are in this section, okay? So one is in the past and one is in the future, current, present energies over here that I'll show you in a minute. But this past one, and then on the other side with the nutmeg, can talk about some energy or somebody in the past was thinking a lot about the different types of relationships. So whether it's romantic or platonic or self-love, with friends and family, etc., someone's energy was heavy here in the past, okay? And they could have been thinking, or you could have been thinking about how to have more abundance within your relationships here with the nutmeg. There also could have been something about feeling like that there was something going on within the home here with the chair that's like right on the line, so it also applies to this section. Something going on within the home, okay, and maybe a lack of team working energy or lack of manifesting something within the home, physical 3D home. But it could also be that in the past, perhaps here, Libra, that somebody or some energy wasn't feeling at home in one of their relationships or all of them, right? But again, this is kind of past energy, okay? So now that we move into the black part of the mat, the future, current, present energies, now we see your other skull right here, Libra, and it's leaning and resting against the bobcat tooth, okay? So someone here, or the energy, is really thinking about chewing over and digesting, what are my relationship boundaries, okay? That's like a big thing that's showing up here. And it does make sense, like I said before, for one of the other signs is Venus is still in retrograde until about April 12th, and then even after that, and Venus rules all relationships, romantic, platonic, with friends and family, and self-love. It's going to take time once it goes forward to gain its normal speed. And then we still have Juno in retrograde for the rest of the month too. So there's things definitely happening. Like I said, check out the general astrology video with the Taurus reading if you feel guided. So it's not just you, right? It's the collective. But I think it's good to think about boundaries, right, in our relationships from time to time. And I do see a beautiful supportive energy showing up here, Libra, with this fish vertebrae backbone piece here, okay? I see that there is going to be balance here, or already is for some of you guys, with the emotions in one relationship or all relationships, okay? Because we have the yin and yang here, and then we have the cup right next to, not touching but very close to the big heart in the middle here. So I definitely like that. Okay, so if there are still some questions, that, remember we said this, whatever crosses the center circle affects all the areas, this reading for you. If there's still like questions about one relationship or multiple relationships, here Spirit is saying go slow, and over time ease up on your crown chakra, ease up on the overthinking, because you know it's not going to always be that way, okay? Because if we also go this way here, Libra, we have the turkey wishbone inside of it, we got the ship anchor, we have part of the dog ankle bone, and then we have the fish. So what someone is wishing for, or you, or the energy, is perhaps something to do with travel. Maybe you want to travel with one of these people, or all these people, with his family, etc. I don't know. Or maybe it's something about wishing to be near water and how healing that can be for our relationships, okay? But there is also a wish for more flexibility and success. So the more flexibility we have within one relationship or all relationships, that's when we're going to get that prosperity and the success from the fish, okay? But I do really love to see again here that yin and yang, right, with the emotions in the relationships here. That could be something that you're striving for, or everybody is, again, because Venus is still in retrograde, right? And you are the balance scales, Libra. That's what you're known for, okay? So very interesting, all right? But yeah, that's pretty much what I have for that section. So let's now go ahead and move into your last section here. Another busy section, one of your busiest sections is work and money. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff in the past we'll start with, and then get into the future, current, present energies. All right, so if we go out here in the past, Libra, I'll just wait for, there we go, the camera to focus a little bit. We've got the corn charm here showing up. We have the feminine energy charm showing up, okay? We have Leo the lion showing up. We have half of the safety pin showing up here. We have the peace doves over here, and we've got a human tooth bone here. We have the horseshoe and the ladybug here, and we have the leaf here, and a little bit of Pegasus the winged horse, okay? So it looks like here in the past, and also, one more thing, half of the seahorse here. But it looks like here in the past, in some shape or form, Libra, in terms of work or money or finances or a sense of being valued, someone was planting the seeds for the future. They were chewing over and digesting how can I have more good luck with the work, the money, the finances? How can I manifest some peaceful energy here, a sense of safety with the work, the money, the finances, and freedom, right? So someone was clearing a lot of stuff too here in the past, or the energy in general if it wasn't a person. Because if we go back down this way too, also still in this section and right on the line, is if there was something going on with the family, okay, with that seahorse. That could be blood family, it could be your tribe, your group of people that you trust, what have you. If there was something going on here in the past about family and where we live in our 3D physical home, or our sense of where we feel at home with the work, the money, the finances, perhaps there was a disconnect with that support here, with this piece of the fish vertebrae kind of out there on its own. Okay, but again, this is past energy showing up here. So as we move now onto the black mat, into the future, current, present energies, it's like there could be some knowledge that comes in here with the book charm, Libra, about work, or with the work, the money, the finances. This could be coming from family or who we consider our tribe, but it doesn't have to be, or it just affects the family, right? But this is about possibly as well our work and money, finances, like goals and dreams, okay, and what we want there. Because there is a big wish, if we go down this way too, for the work and money and finances environment here. Could be one wish or several wishes, right? But we see a huge transformation happening here, Libra, for you or someone else, or the collective energy, right? Because here, that alligator claw, which also represents good luck, is reaching and touching the butterfly. So huge transformation happening at work, okay, or with the money, the finances. All right. And I feel like that because of that, there could be a lot of emotions as well showing up here with the water charm, okay? But your spiritual team is showing up here too, Libra, with the coffin here, right? So that's passed on loved ones, friends, family, ancestors, spirit guides, etc. They're showing up here and they're like, where can we be tough at work, right, with this armadillo vertebrae backbone piece here? Where can we be tough at work, but also have that soft underbelly where we see the emotions, right? Maybe we don't show the emotions at work or in the work environment, or the money, the finances, but we show more of the outer shell. But it could be like a message here from your spiritual team that it doesn't have to be so black and white with that. Like maybe they want you to clear something here and not be like afraid to show your emotions at work or with the work, the money, the finances. This could be something that they've wanted for you for a long time here with the seashell charm. But I also see that your spiritual team is like, look at this arrow action here. You have the bow and arrow is going into Cupid's butt, and then Cupid also has the arrow and it's going that way. Wow. Really, really cool the way the bones and charms fell this time. So it's like, yeah, if you clear away something here, Libra, look at all the momentum and action that's gonna come from clearing this stuff away that's no longer needed in terms of work or money or finances. Then that arrow goes through the butt and all the way out. But no, I'm kidding, but I'm serious. Like, look at all of that momentum. And so now it's like your goals and dreams for work, money, and finances is also supported by people that love you, right? So friends, family, romantic partners, your own self-love, it's backed by all of that, and it has so much weight. It's like the arrow is going like super, super fast. And where's the arrow actually going? It's leading this way, and it's hitting, okay, top of Capricorn, the goat's horn here, okay? So what does Capricorn, the goat, represent? Putting in hard work, putting in never giving up energy, putting in resilient energy. Your spiritual team, again, over here with the skeleton hand, they want you to keep doing that, okay? Or first follow that energy if it's not necessarily you or someone else. Follow that energy, that hardworking, resilient energy. And it could have something to do, again, with a Capricorn during Capricorn season, or where you have Capricorn in your chart, but it doesn't have to be. But it's like when you do this, or the energy does this, here, Libra, it's going to bring in more freedom. And look at all that money inside the freedom handcuffs. There you have the money bags. And it's inside also the alligator claw. So manifesting that freedom to spend money, perhaps for some. It doesn't necessarily have to just be money. It's abundance, whatever you want. Okay, freedom to do those things with the work, the money, the finances. So chewing over and digesting this big time here, with that human tooth bone on this side. I want to see there's something else over here. I think it might be the lock that's underneath the alligator claw, but let me just lift it up and see. Okay, yeah. So there's the lock. The lock represents stagnant energy, okay, or a blockage, right? So maybe because of that, okay, that could be like a catalyst. Maybe the emotions were making this a little bit stagnant or a blockage, but then someone's like, I'm still going to manifest. I'm still going with these transformative energies, with the work, the money, the finances, and I'm going to keep going for that sense of freedom and abundance. And I'm going to do that by putting in that hard work and not giving up. Okay. So very, very cool. Last thing I'll say here, or one of the last things I'll say here, as I'm always like, I'm done. And then I'm like, I see something else. I'm like, wait, I'm not. One of the second to last things I'll say here, Libra, about this section, it just flipped it over, is we had the frog, okay, leap of faith underneath this raccoon claw that's then beautifully supporting the hummingbird and then the sun in the background. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. Libra, it's like when you or someone else or the energy is ready to make a leap of faith where we don't know what the outcome is going to be. That leap of faith, again, is so strong. We had those two arrows going together, but here it's so strong. It leads to someone supporting you or someone else or the energy to be themselves at work, with the work, the money, the finances. That's what's going to bring this happiness. Okay, when I say be yourself, it's because the hummingbird flies backwards, not like most birds, right? But it gets the sweetest nectar and it is the fastest bird. So when you do things that you are naturally good at here, Libra, or someone else is, or the energy with the work, the money, the finances, that's when you're going to feel the happiest, or someone else is going to feel the happiest, or the energy is going to feel the happiest, because there's just so much momentum here for you, okay? And you know, I know that your season is not your season yet, Libra, but this is such a good reading, especially for this section. I don't remember, you know, what else it could be. I'm looking at the astrology notes kind of on the other side of my table, not towards the end of the month, but we do have Venus, who's your ruler, Libra, enters into Aries at the end of the month. Okay, so that could be like where you're getting this extra energy or extra for something here. And Aries is that go-getter, entrepreneurship type of energy. So that could be lending this to your work and money and finances section, but it doesn't have to be. Okay. Also, when Venus goes direct, which is also your ruler after April 12th, that could also be what's going on here, extra momentum and strength and speed here. So very, very cool, though, I have to say. Don't you start, Hermes. We're almost done. Don't you start. Get over here. Sorry, guys. So last thing I wanted to say, though, because these things are also on the line here, which apply to this section too. So if we go this way, remember we had the baby here, and then we have those really interestingly, both of the coyote penis bones looking like little shoes for the baby. I was saying, or joking around like they were skis, right? So here, Libra, when we're talking about work and money and finance, it's like that inner child or something to do with children or a childlike energy is riding the Buckeye, is riding the abundance with the work, the money, the finances, right? So take that extra momentum and all that higher vibrational masculine energy to be assertive and proactive with the work, the money, the finances this time, because it's a big piece of the puzzle, and it can also lead to, look at that, remember the crown being here, Libra, could be a level up with work, the money, the finances. It could be you're getting a raise or a promotion, or you're working or looking really good to the boss or the leader or the CEO or whatever it is, right? But it could also be your own leadership qualities here. But it's definitely time for that to happen. It's like divine timing, right? And your angels are blessing this, okay? Your guardian angels are blessing this as well. And also, this could have something to either do with the Pisces, or it's just really about going with the flow and trusting that this is divine timing here for you, Libra, in terms of your work or money or finances at this time. Also, to remember, we said not only did we have the crown underneath the angel coin, but we also have the apple here. So again, it's like working with a teacher, a mentor, a guide for your career, for your work, your money, your finances, or it's your, and or in addition to that, it's also, I just hit the camera, whoops, your own leadership qualities here for you, Libra, showing up with the apple. Okay, I just got really excited. I hit the camera, but hopefully I didn't scratch it. All right. So again, second, third, last thing, right, is whatever crosses the center circle also affects all the areas, right? So, let me just not do that towards the end of the reading. So here, Libra, remember, if there's questions about the work, the money, the finances, okay, to just go with it, right? Tap into that masculine energy and know that sometimes we have to go a little slow, but over time that there's going to be so much speed here, and not just this area, but all the areas. Okay, so give it time. We're coming out of retrograde season, right? And also don't overthink things. It's okay to question things, but don't overthink things. Remember, because that's on top of the crown chakra, or the side of this person's head that's meditating. So lots of really good things happening here for you. Both you, Libra, and Virgo had a really nice reading. So I hope some of this will start to make sense in time, or maybe it already does for you. So always feel free to let me know in the comments, either on Facebook or YouTube, or eventually TikTok. I'd love to hear from you guys, of course, if you feel guided, but no pressure. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera back up here briefly so I can just kind of say goodbye for now to you guys, okay? And I am so sorry about all the interruptions with the animals and the gardeners and things, but hopefully it wasn't too bad, so thank you for your understanding. But anyway, enjoy this time period for both Libra and Virgo, and you guys take care, and I will see how the energy flows later, but hopefully I will be back later this evening with the Scorpio and Sagittarius readings. If it's not tonight, then hopefully it will be tomorrow afternoon at some point. All right. But anyway, you guys take care, and thank you again, I forgot to say earlier, for all of your likes and your subscriptions and your follows, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook. All right, so I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.